Okay, so the reason I like this game is it's straightforward, it's logical, simple chess. It's a Sicilian where white did exchange a lot of pieces, but still there was a lot of play left on the board. And I found an opening, and there was a nice maneuver towards the end. So a few words about my opponent, Finn Overlie. He is from Norway originally, in his 80s, if I remember correctly. Um, and he'll sit at the board. He's funny, he's charming, he's smart. He'll open a small bottle of those 5 hour energy plastic bottles, He'll just chug it. He'll put it down. He'll look you in the eye and he'll say, bring it on. Right? I mean, that energy he has at that age, I don't have it now. I don't think. And, you know, brilliant, brilliant opponent to play against, and always fun to talk to him at the board, and off the board after the game. Like he's a colorful character. Okay, so we met at this Pittsburgh Tuesday night again. I don't think it was one of the first rounds, maybe third or fourth round. Actually, no, I have a note saying it's the first round. Okay, there you go. So first round, okay, I remember, first round, right? So first round games are usually I'm down paired, I'm above 2,000, and he's 1750. It's never a good. I'm down paired, but it's never an easy game. So this is a Sicilian, right? I'm delaying my knight here, development. Probably knight f6 towards a accelerated dragon makes sense too. It doesn't really matter. I give this line, which it's okay for black. Let's see what the engine says. It looks a bit strange, but you could argue the white overextended a little bit too, and obviously the knight is getting out this way and then this way, so the game can go like f4, knight h6, queen d2, castle, maybe castle here. Game's about even. I'll break with d6 and so on and so forth. But d6, obviously, there's nothing wrong with this, right? Bishop e2, knight f6. It's a normal Sicilian that's been played many times. I'm not sure if there's anything wrong with this piece placement. I don't think so. It should be fine. So f4. In my database, there is a few moves. F4 is not one of the top ones, but I think it's fine. Interesting here, and I think I was looking at it in the game. I just couldn't bring myself to do it, but queen b6 is interesting, right? So the point is, I hit the pawn, there's pressure on the knight, so knight f5, sorry, knight f5 rather. Wait, what? Okay, here. Knight f5 is an idea, and the game can be really, sorry, I'm messing this up. Okay, knight f5, queen takes b2, knight a4, queen back, here, here. And black actually wins in this line, right? Because king h1, I take the knight. So knight f5, we just showed it doesn't work because of this move. Okay. What else could have white done in this case? Maybe sacrificing the pawn, right? Bishop f3 is a common idea in these positions. So this way, and I can take the pawn. Queen up somewhere, queen d2, here, here. Well, does white have compensation for the pawn? It's unclear. What else can be done? Maybe queen can move up at once, queen d2 or d3. Let's say queen d3 for a change. And now it's actually, well, white does have real compensation, having more pieces on the board. Queen a3. There's always knight d5s in these positions, so watch out. I wonder if it works here. Oh, sorry, the e7 pawn is defended. What am I talking about? There. The point is, sometimes in these positions, you can do this, here, and here, provided your knight doesn't hang. Here, it is actually hanging. However, we can prepare that variation with inserting this one first, and then knight d5 works. So I was right. This is the top engine choice. So queen d3, we win a pawn with the intermezzo before taking back the queen. So king h8, we take, and white won a pawn. But white was already down a pawn, right? The b2 pawn was missing, and we won it back. So the game could have gone this way. Queen b6 was an interesting choice, but I instead played a6, which weakened some dark squares, but I'm trying to get some pawn play like this. And maybe bishop b7, rook c8, maybe b4 one day. Probably white will stop that with a3, and so on and so forth. Probably more normal is bishop d7. That's what I would play today, I guess. Queen d2, rook c8, rook d1, a6. It might transpose to this, right? There's also knight a5 sometimes in these positions to move here. So a lot of options. Anyway, a6 happened. f5. So Finn isn't messing around. He's an aggressive player. It just comes at me. Decaf. d5, principled, right? If there's a flank attack, not a flank attack. A flank attack, I don't know what to do against, but a flank attack, you always counter it with a central thrust if you can. So knight e5 was another choice, but I like what I did. So d5, take, and a bunch of exchanges happen. Take everywhere. And here, one could say it's about equal, because the pawn structure, let me do a lot of arrows or highlights. It's similar, right? There's 3-on-2 for white on the queen side and 3-on-2 for black on the king side. However, there is a big difference. If I get to play something like e5 safely without weakening my king too much, I will have control over the center. Let's do black. More than white. So center we give to black a little bit, right? Because e5 does come with some drawbacks too. Also, this bishop's strength is very real. So my engine gives us tiny +2 black in this case, which means the opening was a nice success, right? Again, logical chess, like I said in the beginning, it's not forcing anything. And this is not drawish. This is not draw. I'm okay. It might end in a draw if white holds perfectly well, but there's a lot of play here to be played. A lot of play to be played. Yeah. Okay. What did I just say? C3 is a bit slow. Maybe white's preparing this one, but I already mentioned the move. What can black do against this? Well, we use our pawn majority in the center, like so, right? So if I just mark my time here, bishop d4 can be met by e5. And okay, what happens is we gain some center. So f5 will be quite courageous, but I have the center, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's perfectly fine. So taking the center is something I would do today. Let's see what I did 7, 8 years ago. Okay, so c3 happened. I chose bishop e6, which is okay. Black still has a great position, but I'm not making use of my center, right? And if I'm not doing that, it's unclear what game plan I'm choosing. Well, okay, a2 is weak. If a3, then light squares are weakened. Something like this might happen, maybe a5, a4, right? Let's put it this way. Bishop c4, I can seek an exchange, maybe, but my bishop is doing fine, so maybe not. It's a comfortable position to play. Bishop f3 happened, queen c7, calm, That's the best square for the queen. Queen c2, rook c8. Um, so maybe b5, b4, like a minority attack like plan is possible. But queen e4 happened quickly. And okay, b7's under fire, right? So what to do? Should we just defend with b5? Is there any downside to b5, right? That makes some sense, right? And it's fine, but do you see what happens after b5? When pawn moves like this happen, you can consider them like hooks. That's a hook that white can attack with a4. And he gains some initiative, like a4. How do I respond here? Computer recommends b4. Interesting, right? cb, bishop b4, but okay, this pawn could be dangerous one day. Maybe not right now, but in an ending. So b5, it's playable, but I did something more interesting, more exciting. I counterattacked the pawn. I said, okay, Finn, if you want to take my pawn, you can, but I'll demolish your king side. And he said, okay, well, fine. I don't care. And I said, okay, thank you. Check. King to the corner. Now, king f2 wasn't working because of the obvious check. Only move, check. Exchange is gone already, but the attack is just decisive. Check. We check, 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 check. And now we take a full rook. It's more than an exchange. Actually, it's just a full rook. And I'm going to give mate pretty soon, right? Okay, so the king cannot hide on f2. That's why it went to h1. Let this be the quiz of this video. Black to play and win. Well, it's not technically winning, but it's about +2, almost win. Almost win. What's a good maneuver? What's a good short plan we can play? I'll take a sip. You think a bit. If you were black, what would you do? Okay. So in these positions, a pattern should pop in your head. And if you don't know it, learn it. I'll just build that position. So let's say the queen was on h4. I would give mate in 2 moves, like this. Let's say queen g3, some empty move. Actually, there is a variation like that. Oh, okay, I'll show you what it is. Let's just mark the time, queen h4, and this wins, because the threat is check and mate. For example, queen somewhere, let's just waste another move. Check with the queen, discover check, right? And this is mate. So that's an idea, and that's what you should be striving for right away. Problem is, you can't do it. You can't do it. After queen g3, do you see what white does instead of the wasted move we just did? It's a free pawn, right? So white takes a pawn and covers that square. That's the point. That's the point. And my engine likes white a little bit here. So this doesn't work. What else can we do? The idea is correct. But how can we guarantee, having seen this, I think the point was this, right? A lot of people will play queen g3 and blunder queen takes e7, which I also thought about. How can we quickly transfer our queen to the king side if queen g3 doesn't work? The answer is queen e5. No, not bishop e5, queen e5. Now, if bishop d4, remember, the point is to get the queen across to the h-file somehow so we can move the bishop and give a check. Doesn't matter where, right? It could be here, 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 here. I guess that's it, right? Here. But this is covered by the pawn. This is covered by the bishop. This is now covered by the new bishop. So which of these 3 squares can I go to? That becomes a question while maintaining this defense of the bishop. The answer is f4, right? And now I either go here or here You can't stop it. There's no discoveries with the bishop that are good. So black is much better, if not winning here. So bishop d4 doesn't help. There is a defense I talk about in my analysis. Queen f4, bishop g4. Amazing. No human will find this. It's still +2, by the way, or -2, I should say. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Now, queen's attacked. If I take this guy, he takes here, and it's about equal. What else? If he takes, what can I do here? If I take here, my queen's gone. It's interesting, but I can stay on track. The point was to get the queen to the H line. I can do this like that. And white's doing very well. For example, bishop takes e6. Still, actually, sorry, this will be a blunder because bishop h3. No, not that one. Just kidding. But just take. And the attack is decisive. So anyway, let's go back. Queen e5 happened. Queen e4. But that doesn't prevent the queen from getting to the H line, right? Now, this is covered by the bishop. Oops. But this way. And I really like this geometry. As simple as it is, right? I went here and then here. Long queen moves are very, very satisfying for some reason. So here, 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 and now game's over, believe it or not. It's move 21 and game's over. Like, have you seen a queen this strong on the corner, h8? It was very satisfying to do this. So here, bishop came to attack the queen. Bishop e5 check would work, but patience. Queen up. Just wait. White's hands are tied. He can't do anything. So this line, check, here, 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 here. I can win the exchange, but now white gathered a lot of pieces around the king. So it's not something like king d2 take. I'm just up the exchange, but look, there's two bishops. His pieces are good. I'm better. I'm up the exchange, but no, just don't cash in just yet. Way better, which I played, is queen up. Queen h6 would have also worked, just the same. And now again, you're asking the opponent, okay, what now, right? He plays bishop g4, which doesn't help. I simply give a check. Well, notice king g1 is still mate, right? The mate we saw earlier. And bishop h3, I just take. Again, take. By this time, you know this mates very, very well. And if you can't take the bishop, the game's over, right? Rook f4 was a random move. Check. Here, 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 here. White resigned.